Hey, check it. Hey, check it. Put the place up.
This episode of Weekly Sauce is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub MTL. Visit Mike'sBBQRubMTL.com and use Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off the entire site. Again, this is episode 37, I think it is, Alex. This is Weekly Sauce as usual. 37, right, Alex?
37, yes.
It's a special one for us. I mean, every episode's special, but this one's a little bit more special for you, Alex. I know you were super pumped to have this one on. Just so let's give a breakdown of who we have on today. So he's most outstanding player in the Grey Cup in 2003-2009. He's the most outstanding player in the CFL 2002-2003. He's a three-time CFL All-Star. He's an absolute legend. Over 1,000 catches in the league. CFL Hall of Famer in 2014. Ben Cahoon, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, great, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great to be on, and appreciate the opportunity to chat with you.
Oh, I mean, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it more than anything. Where are you now? You're back home in Utah, I imagine?
Yes, in Utah. That's kind of where my family was my whole playing career. Kind of went back and forth.
So I read one thing about you, and it was you didn't like to play on Sundays. So that's why you chose the CFL, because you play Friday nights. Friday night.
Well, I didn't necessarily. I chose the CFL because I had no other options, basically. Yeah, I think Sundays are different days for me, and I try not to work on them, but unless it's necessary.
Absolutely.
So that was my follow-up question, actually. But have you ever had any offers from the NFL, or did you just refuse them, or what's going on there?
I had a tryout with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
Team. I tried out for them right out of college. Just a mini camp tryout. They didn't draft me. They did not offer me a free agent contract. They just basically said you can come in and try out, and it was short-lived. Like 2.5 days, and about that time I got drafted by the Alouettes.
So you got drafted,
and then I was drafted by the Alouettes because I qualified as a non-import because I lived in Canada for 8 years. But the Buccaneers just after I started playing in Canada, after my first year, I just decided that I wasn't going to pursue the NFL anymore. I loved my experience the first year after the Alouettes. I loved the CFL. I knew I could thrive in CFL. And if I got to the NFL, it was going to be a crapshoot. Got to get on the right team that would take a guy like me and maybe bounce around the league a little bit. And it just didn't seem like the lifestyle for me. Sure glad I made that decision. That turned out okay.
How often do you come back to Montreal, if ever?
No, I do as often as I can. Unfortunately, didn't get out there last year with COVID and all, but I think 2 times the year before, 2019. The business I'm doing right now, G2G Protein Bars, allows me to get up to Canada quite often, and any excuse I can have to get out east, I take it. So I love coming to Montreal. I was hoping to get a game or two last summer, but
It's tough too. I mean, they canceled the season this year in the CFL. I mean, obviously they don't have the engine that the NFL does to continue the season going, but it was tough. And we had a lot of the guys on. We've had a few CFLers on the show, and it's tough for them. They're trying to make a living, support their families, and not being able to make money. And a good friend of mine is one of the defensive assistants for the Owls now, and he's taking like an assistant coaching job at CJEPS and things like that just to make ends meet. And it's pretty brutal for them, but it is what it is. It's our reality now. It's created a virtual world for everybody like you and I right now.
Hopefully they throw something together this year, and we can put some fans in the stands for the vaccine. This pandemic.
I've actually had a question, and this is what I always wanted to know. How did you and Anthony have such a great chemistry? I was on TV. I couldn't believe how you and Anthony had such a beautiful relation with each other, and you guys already knew. exactly the yin and the yang, and you guys had such a beautiful chemistry, and you always knew where to go. You had the perfect routes. Honestly, you were Anthony's safety blanket, I should say.
So when
And
you have Anthony on, make sure you express that to Anthony. Make sure you tell Anthony that.
I'll make sure to tell him that you told us to put him on.
Yeah.
Ask that question.
It just developed over years, and thankfully we were able to spend a lot of years together, 13, all 13 together. It started my rookie year and his first year when he came over to Montreal from Hamilton, and we were basically running the opponent's defense scout team every practice. And, the coaches hold up cards with the routes, and Anthony goes back and picks a route and throws the ball. So we just got a lot of reps running the opponent's offense all practice, every practice, and not a lot of playing time. I don't think I got into it. I think I got into a game, did some special team stuff my rookie year. Game of the season, and I started a game. But we still had to run the practice team stuff too. So got a lot of practice that way, and then off the field, it just kind of came naturally. Played college at Utah State. We golfed. We just kind of developed a great relationship, both on the field and off the field.
Are you still golfing now?
Not very often, but often enough to beat his brains in.
Is Anthony a good golfer? I feel like he's a crazy competitor to the point where if you beat him, he's not talking to you for a week kind of thing.
All quarterbacks, they had this country club lifestyle growing up. And they're all good golfers, but he's a very good golfer.
Yeah. All right. I can't picture it. I don't know why. I feel like he's more like he's kind of like your throwback football guy, but he doesn't want to be too. He always needs to be kind of dirty, I feel like he's more of those kind of guy. I feel like he's not like your prototypical quarterback where most quarterbacks, like you said, they've been the country house, the country club feel to them. But I feel like I always felt Anthony was kind of more of like a tough guy. I feel like Matthew Stafford's that way, just like a tough guy, just really doesn't buy into like the polos and things like that. I don't know. I've seen him driving around all the time in his pickup truck, so I have this weird perception of him.
Yeah.
What do you miss most about Montreal? Just the city.
A bunch of great friends that were neighbors with us, and dear lifelong friends, and the organization as a whole. The restaurants, city in general, it's just so unique and such a fantastic city there.
As you can see, Alex and I love restaurants. So which one's your favorite restaurant? Like, what's the one you're like, post game we gotta go?
No, just the Keg. I mean, I'm a pretty simple guy.
You're a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Yeah. And last time I was in town, Anthony and John Bowman and I went to the Keg.
Oh, there you go. See?
So you've mentioned restaurants, and I imagine you've had a poutine, right?
Nope.
You've never had a poutine?
Nope.
Get out of here.
Sorry, I'm gonna lose popularity in Quebec, but never appealed to me. I like French fries. I like squeaky cheese, as we call it down here. I like gravy, but the combination just never appealed to me.
Oh, the combination is the best part of it, Ben. What are we talking about here? You know what? I think you should start like a poutine stand in Utah. Having never tasted it, and just say like it's the best thing ever, because that's what it is. It's literally the best meal on earth. It never duplicated, right? What's the thing? Is always copied, never replicated. Whatever. What's the term? Yeah. Impossible to copy the kind of poutine you get here in Quebec.
That's right. It's the same thing in Philly. You can't get a Philly cheesesteak anywhere like west of the Mississippi. They just can't make them.
It just doesn't work.
Exactly.
It doesn't work. What's next for you? I know you have the G2G bars. I saw John Bowman posted something too. So tell us about that company. What is it?
It's a great company. Been around for about 11 years. It's a refrigerated protein bar, so there's no fillers, no junk. no preservatives. Keep it in the fridge so it maintains its freshness. And best part about it is its taste. Tastes like dessert. I've had 2 already today. I've had them for breakfast every weekday for about 2 years now, and I'm get sick of them. So I'm excited. One of the main reasons for joining this company was they said that they were launching into Canada, and I could take over that part of the business. So that gave me an excuse to get up to Montreal and up to Western Canada as well, and try to promote the bars. And it's going good. Last year was a rough year. I wasn't able to make it up to Canada at all, but things are growing up there, and it's a great product. So it's a matter of time before everybody hears about G2G bars. It stands for Good to Go.
Good to go
protein bars.
All right, you got to send us some. I'm down.
Sure.
Where can you buy it here? I mean, have you made any deals with any like grocery stores here, any chains and things like that?
Yeah, not too many in Montreal, but a couple gyms and Metro and TMR.
Okay.
Got them in their apothecary. It'll be in a refrigerated section in the chiller.
Okay, cool.
So, but the Metro and TMR has a specific gym.
Golds?
I think there's some IGAs that have them too. I'm not positive about the location.
So I think I got to get on some. We got to cut the diet a bit. You know, the quarantine weight, the COVID weight is really catching up to me, buddy.
I hear that. I'll let you know a couple other locations in Montreal.
I'm close by.
Ben, we've always been asking this question to Alouette players, but what's a story that you can tell us about that nobody knows, like outside, like in the media? Like, what's a story, like a funny story or just a special story that you could tell us?
Man, that's tough to narrow it down to just one.
Give us like a locker room story. Maybe one about Marco that we can make fun of.
Dang, the only one that's coming to mind is probably not even safe to share on the air. In Saskatchewan, just like a regular season game. And one of our old linemen, a big dude, probably listed at 350, but he was bigger than that. I won't say his name.
It's always an old lineman.
He's kind of a class clown, like so many of those guys are. And we're pregame in the locker room getting dressed, and he's buck naked, and he starts dancing around, trying to get everybody laughing. And he's a huge human being. So he's doing his thing, and everybody's cracking up because he's just got body parts flailing all over the place. He had a little stool in front of his locker that his jersey was draped over the stool. So he gets done after about 30 seconds of dancing. He gets out of breath and he goes and sits down naked on his stool on his jersey. I don't know if he didn't realize it, but he stands up and the jersey's still stuck in his butt crack. And everybody goes crazy. Everybody's busting a gut, right? And he spikes the attention and he starts dancing again, right? And it's just ridiculous. Peels it out.
I don't even want to.
And he's got a big, huge skid mark right between
the numbers.
I won't say the numbers because you'll know who it was. Right between the numbers. And he's got to go out and play a football game. 60 minutes of a football game.
So they couldn't even get him a jersey? He had to wear the jersey that...
I don't know. He had to wear the jerseys of CFL. They don't have extra jerseys. Everybody's like, what the crap? Dude.
Okay, I got to look into this.
How does that happen?
I got to look into this. I'll get the name. You don't have to tell me who it is.
His answer when people are like, how does that happen? Well, usually after I use the bathroom, I just go into the jacuzzi. And they didn't have a jacuzzi. And everybody's like, wait, what? Go into our team jacuzzi?
And you just like...
Yeah, every game. Every game. He doesn't wipe his butt and he goes to the jacuzzi.
Leave it to an old lineman. It'd be that dirty?
Yeah. Nasty. I'm sorry. That's the only story that came to my mind. I couldn't get it out of my dang mind and think of something else.
I can clip that up and put it in there.
It's a great story, Ben.
That's not. I'm traumatized by it still. Frankly.
Okay, after what I've seen, honestly, in locker rooms, I think you can't be traumatized anymore.
Yeah,
It's a place where nobody should enter if you don't belong.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can ask anybody that played around my time. They will remember that story.
I will.
I don't know exactly who it is.
Okay, I will.
That's Anthony, Bowman, Anwar. You can ask.
We're on it. I'll get it. Then I'll call you out for it though. I'll be like, see Ben, I got the information.
I didn't say.
No, you're clean. You're squeaky
Guy's
clean.
name. I didn't say what his numbers were.
You didn't say anybody's name.
It's all just cemented in my brain, unfortunately.
So we asked John Bowman.
It's kind of gross, but it's the only thing that I thought of when you kind of put me on the spot there. And
it's always the grossest story.
Else. Yeah, I know.
We asked John Bowman who his favorite coach was, and we were talking about Adam Gase and the effect that Adam Gase had on the Jets, and how he was a bad coach and things like that. And then I'd asked him, so like what coach, like what kind of a skill set does a coach have to have for you? And he started going off on like his least favorite coach of all time. And I bet you're a classy guy. You're probably not going to say those things. So we're going to ask you right now, which coach had the biggest impression on you in the CFL or in college?
Man, so many great coaches, and we had a few. In my time in Montreal, we had Rod Rust, we had Dave Ritchie, we had Jim Pop a couple times, we had Mark Trestman, Don Matthews, and Trestman was so impactful, just the way he taught and the expectation he had for how we treated one another and how we acted on and off the field. I was buying everything that he was selling and loved Mark Trestman. Don Matthews was a crazy man, and I had more fun playing for Don Matthews than anybody else, and he was remarkable. He was a fantastic football coach. Totally different approach, though. He was just kind of fly by the seat of your pants guy and just wanted players to have fun and be fresh. And kind of opposite ends of the spectrum for both those guys, but so great to play for each of those guys.
You name some real some impressionable coaches back then. Some like Dave Ritchie and Don Matthews. To me, those are like like when I was growing up playing football, like those were the guys. You know what I mean? Like them. And then Mark Trestman comes on, and you're like, this guy's very different. He's more business, more numbers. He's a very just an easygoing guy. Doesn't look like a football guy. He's just a smart guy that understands the game extremely well. I wanted to take you back to 2009, the famous Grey Cup, the famous missed field goal against Winnipeg. And what was the sideline? Were you on the field when the field goal was missed? The first field goal?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Sorry, no, it was Saskatchewan. The missed field goal was it Saskatchewan or Winnipeg? Am I drawing a blank here?
Wait, you're talking Grey Cup?
The Grey Cup, yeah.
And when Damon missed the field goal and then got a second chance, right?
Yeah.
2009 Grey Cup.
Grey Cup, yeah. So were you on the field at that time, or were you on the sideline?
Yeah, I was the holder.
You were the holder. There you go. So even better. Yeah. What was it like when you saw all the yellow, all the flags coming out?
Yeah, I really didn't react. I was just like in the moment and trying to just worry about getting reset and listen to what the call was. I had no idea. It's on us and game over, or it's on them. But as soon as it was on them, I was just like, don't screw this up. Try to get focused and get the ball down for Damon.
It's a tough job to be the pinner because you never know. The ball can come up here. You don't even know what's happening.
It's a thankless job.
Job, exactly. No one ever remembers the holder ever, Ben.
Until you screw up.
Yeah, I don't even remember, and I'm talking to you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll try not to be offended.
Yeah, I know the holder must make sure that the laces are not towards the kicker, right?
Laces out.
That's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah.
As Jim Carrey told us, laces out all the time. We appreciate you coming on, Ben. Honestly, it was awesome talking to you. You're a great guy. I'll let when Anthony Calvillo comes on, I'll let him know that we'll tell him that you were the reason it was all his success, nobody else.
I was talking some golf smack. Gotta get him on. You want to get him on? Tell him Cahoon was talking golf smack. And the only way he can defend himself is come on the show.
I'll challenge him to a golf game too. I'll be like, listen, Anthony, I heard your golf game's pretty trash. I heard.
But I'm hoping, because I coached for a while, I know what the coaching lifestyle is. That dude has no time to golf.
I know, I can imagine.
I think I could take it.
Well, so it's G2G Bar, right? We'll promote as much as we can. I'll make sure to go to TMR's Metro and I'll get it there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's close.
Thanks. It'll be worth your while. I promise. It'll be the best taste of protein bar you have. I'll send you both some though, and appreciate the time.
Perfect. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a good one.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben.
This show is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub, home of the best rubs in town and last sauce, barbecue sauce, peas.
Absolutely. They will get you satisfied in 12 seconds or less, just like Rick Pitino at that restaurant.
So visit Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, and use Hot Sauce 10 promo code for 10% off on all individual bottles. That's Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off. And peas, don't forget to rub your meat.
And we are back, man. That was sick. I don't know about you, but I had to change clothes. I was sweating so much from talking to Ben Cahoon.
Me too.
He was great, man. Honestly, Ben is class act. Unbelievable guy. Unbelievable. Hopefully we can figure out a partnership with him too.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed the interview. He's the guy who I really looked up to when I was younger, and what a beauty. Awesome guy. And I kind of expected that from Ben because he's like he's always been a quiet guy, so he doesn't have a lot of he's not like Marco or John Bowman or those guys, so he's good. He's a good storyteller and he's an all around great guy, and we love him. So we love him for coming on. So I got some dad feelings, like he's like a dad figure, Yeah,
exactly. So we're gonna talk some fights, man. I know you and I were watching the fights last week. We were tweeting at each other, so. Man, it was a pretty intense card, I will say. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. Surprisingly, didn't have much expectations for it, but yeah, but it turned out to have some pretty sick fights.
It was good, man. So what was your fight of the night?
Oh, my fight of the night. That has to be Michael Johnson versus Clay Guida.
It was a good fight.
Mainly because my father-in-law is friends with Clay Guida's cousin.
Okay, yeah, you told me this already.
So so he was cheering on Clay Guida and shit in the living room, and yelling and shit. So I was enjoying it. And Clay Guida, Michael Johnson are both OGs.
Yeah, big time.
So
he fought a good fight, Clay Guida. I think that he fought a Clay Guida fight, it's like where you had to bring it to him, and he was all over the place. Like the way he is, he's always bouncing around. He's going crazy. And Michael Johnson, all the talent in the world, man, all the talent in the world, and he can't get it done. I'm surprised he's still in the UFC. He's 20 wins and 17 losses. I'm really surprised he's still in the UFC. I really am.
Michael Johnson, yeah, I remember him back in the Ultimate Fighter series with Josh Koscheck.
Yeah,
and I had high hopes for him, honestly.
That was the GSP.
And yeah, exactly, GSP versus Koscheck. And I think he's coming from a wrestling background, if I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. He's like a high school wrestler, collegiate wrestler, but he doesn't use his wrestling at all.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed as well in the fight. I was expecting some wrestling, but that went more towards Clay Guida. He had 7 takedown attempts, and I believe 4 of them were successful. And he had also submission. No, he didn't have a submission. No. Yeah, Clay Guida had a typical Clay. Well, it wasn't a typical Clay Guida fight because Clay Guida tends to be more of a brawler, more of a like I always say, Clay Guida is the type of guy to go to a buffet and eat 3 fucking plates. He's a fucking grind. He's a fucking grinder, and I didn't see much. I did see grinding from a takedowns perspective, but looking at him, he wasn't going for it. He was more like sitting back and waiting for the counter punches, and he had great left hook. He had great right hook. So that's what I really liked about it.
Fight of the night for me. I mean, it's tough to go. I mean, I think Benny Dariush showed me that, you know, he's a brawler too, man. And Benny, he's had those crazy KOs, those comeback KOs, and I think him going in and beating Carlos Ferreira, however you want to pronounce it, it was impressive, man. Because Ferreira's he's a sick jiu-jitsu black belt, but so was Benny. And I think Benny, the fact that he can win a 3-round decision against a vet like Carlos is sick to me. And I'm a big fan of Benny Dariush. He's a GB Gracie Barra black belt as well. So I'm pumped for him. I like that fight.
Yeah, he's under. If I'm correct, he's under Romulo Barral and Bruno Paulista from California.
So Romulo Barral is like one of the best of all time. Like, if you talk about like Gracie Barra legends, he's top 5. You know, like he's up there. And he trains out of like San Francisco. I think he has a gym out in San Francisco, and he has like a ton of like world class black belts. Like Gabriel Larges came under him. I know the Armenian guy. He fights in Bellator. Blonde kid. Why am I forgetting his name? I'm happy I'm forgetting his name.
Who Dylan Danis?
No, not Dylan Danis. Dylan Danis isn't Gracie Barra. He came under Alliance. Oh, fuck. He's Armenian, but he's blonde, he's short, he's a small kid, he talks a lot. Fuck. I don't know. I met him too. I don't even know why I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, he wasn't raised on, didn't come up through him, but he's trained there. Edwin Najmi is another guy that Humble brought up, and he's a sick world champ black belt too. So like Benny he was in good hands back then, and now that he's switched his camp and now he's fighting in a more MMA style, you know, he's putting it together. I don't see Benny becoming like this world champ or anything like that, but I do see him as like a really like a brawler, and he's going to be able to like make a name for himself, maybe get a shot eventually, but for now we'll keep it as it is. At lightweight, I don't see him breaking the top 5 anytime soon. Crazy KO though. Crazy KO. Corey
Sandhagen.
Yeah.
That was brutal. He's now waiting for the winner of Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. That I was like, wow, he just knocked him out with a fucking knee, and I was impressed. That was the KO of so far. That's the KO of the year for me.
Oh man, it was pretty, because it came out of like, it was in the first like 30 seconds, and it was just like, and it was right where they're talking and the announcers are talking, and they're like, yeah, this is what Frankie Edgar has to do. He has to, his hands and his feet have to move at the same time, and as soon as bam, he gets KO'd, it was unbelievable. Yeah, 30 seconds. It was 28 seconds, and his last loss was to Aljamain Sterling. He comes back, he beats Marlon Moraes, so now his name is back in the mix. He beats Frankie Edgar too. His name's even more in the mix. So I think that he has to be the next guy. I mean, I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I think he has to be the next guy.
He's definitely the next top contender for bantamweight championship. And just on Benny Dariush, he had 15 takedown attempts.
That's crazy.
15, and well, only 5 of them were successful. But
5 takedowns. That's the way I see it.
I really loved his performance, and I do think he's gonna go. He's not gonna be a champion, but he will be like a top 10 fighter.
Yeah, he'll be like a top 10 guy for a long time, because that's just the type of guy he is. He's also a big boy. He's fighting at lightweight, so I think eventually he'll probably move up to 170. I hope he moves up to 170. I think it's a better weight class for him. He doesn't have to cut as much, because he's like 6 feet, so he can fit there. And I hope he does that, and I wish him that. So, main event: Alistair Overeem, Volkov. I mean, I'm always on Overeem's bandwagon, but after this one, not so much.
Well, what's funny is that I was on a live stream, and they all thought Overeem was gonna win.
Yeah,
I was there saying Volkov's gonna win, and Volkov, oh my god, he came out of the. He came out quick, 1-2 punches. He was very, very precise. He was hitting Alistair Overeem where it hurts, and that's what I really loved about Volkov this time, because I remember his fight versus Derek Lewis, and he got dominated. Okay, absolutely dominated.
Volkov?
And Yeah.
You didn't watch the fight then. Volkov was winning the entire fight, and then the last second, Derek Lewis caught his leg and KO'd him because Volkov, like an idiot, threw a leg kick, and Derek Lewis caught it and KO'd him with one punch.
Hold on a second. I think I'm talking about the wrong fight.
Yeah, you're not talking about Derek Lewis because he was winning that fight. Like he was destroying Derek Lewis.
Yeah, I might be confusing him with Curtis Blades.
Oh yeah, that could be possible. Yeah, exactly. That makes more sense.
That's Curtis Blades possibly. But yeah, Volkov, that fight to me, he really impressed, and I do think his next move should be really one of the top 4 guys in the heavyweight division.
You're talking about if you're talking about Greg, he fought Derek Lewis, lost. He beat Greg Hardy, decision, killed him, and then he lost to Curtis Blades, and then he beat Walt Harris. So you might be talking about Walt Harris, which was his most recent fight, where he KO'd Walt Harris, like he sent him to another fucking dimension. I think you're talking about that one.
Well, no, the fight where Volkov got was sloppy. I'm talking about that fight.
That was Derek Lewis. Sorry. Oh, when he was sloppy, it was against Curtis Blades. Yeah, okay, my bad. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and from there, I was like, is he really gonna get a shot at heavyweight championship or not? But I'm seeing he really improved from there, and I do think he could potentially challenge, but I love him, but I just don't see him being a champion.
That's the thing with Volkov, and it's a heavyweight division. It's always been like that, where there's always these guys that like Volkov. To me, he's kind of the same level as after Frank Mir became champion, the heavyweight division became really good, like really strong with Brock Lesnar and all these guys coming up, and I'm slow today on names. The massive guy. He was beating Brock Lesnar. He lost them. Huge hands, biggest hands in the history of the UFC. Jesus.
That's
He's from Colorado. I always forget his name. Anyway,
Yeah, but what about Cain Velasquez? Man?
Yeah, exactly. And Cain Velasquez. So the heavyweight division became really good. So I put Volkov at that Frank Mir level, where he's kind of the best of the rest. There's the top 5, and then he's right there. Even though he's in the top 5, he's not necessarily championship level. I don't see him beating Stipe. I don't see him beating John Jones. I don't see him beating Curtis Blades again. I don't think he can ever beat Curtis Blades. I mean, maybe Curtis Blades if Kurt has an off night, but I think Curtis Blades has a good matchup against him with the wrestling. I just don't see that happening. And there's a few guys.
What I want for Volkov is a rematch against Derek Lewis.
He needs that rematch, and I think that's a good call. I think that's the next thing for him. Maybe a Fabricio Verdum. You know what I mean? He beat him once already.
That too.
There's guys that he can fight there. So it's interesting to see what Volkov's going to happen now. But Volkov is a very good fighter, and he could get a title shot within this year if he ends up winning one more fight. If he can fight Derek Lewis and win, I think there's a title shot in the line for him.
I think he would have to be Ngannou, because to me Ngannou is a gatekeeper.
Yeah, Ngannou's not gonna. I can't see Ngannou winning the belt. I mean, I could see him winning the belt. Depends.
Or maybe Jairzinho. It might be Jairzinho as well.
I think Jairzinho and Ngannou are set to fight. No.
Yeah, exactly. But so, he might get a loser. Or loser.
I think you should get the winner of those. I mean, unless Ngannou, if Jairzinho wins, I think Volkov and Jairzinho should fight. That's a good call. But if Ngannou wins, they'll for sure give Ngannou a title shot.
So yeah, I see either rematch versus versus Lewis, or Jairzinho and Ngannou, whatever. But if he is gonna inspire for a championship, he's gonna have to fight the top guys.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm a Volkov guy. I see him. I want to watch him fight. He's interesting to watch. He's exciting. So I can't wait to see him. See what happens with him. We got a big card this weekend. A very underappreciated card. I mean, I know there's only one title fight, but there's a lot of good fights on this card. What do you think, Usman Burns?
Oof. Well, listen. When Usman fought Jorge Masvidal, I was expecting a really good fight. Mm-hmm. Okay, Usman made it boring. Okay.
Wow.
So,
but on 6 days' notice, changing the style of fighter you're supposed to fight, pushing him up against the cage, toe stomping him, rib shots. I mean, like, it was a boring fight, but he dominated him. Like, he made Masvidal really like, you don't belong here. You know?
Yeah. On a mixed martial arts level, he dominated.
Yeah.
But from a fan perspective, like entertainment, that was fucking
For
boring.
sure, but what do you do on 6 days' notice? And it's the same thing that happened with Khabib. When Khabib was supposed to fight Ferguson, and Ferguson bowed out last second, Ala Quinta came. It went 5 rounds. It was a boring fight, but it went 5 rounds. What do you expect these guys to do? They can't do the same game plan. It's a completely different fighter. Imagine going from Ferguson to Ala Quinta, and then imagine going from Burns to Masvidal. 2 very different styles. One's a brawler, one's a jiu-jitsu guy with good boxing.
Yeah, Gilbert Burns is really good jiu-jitsu, so
Very good.
I'm not sure how he's gonna match up against Usman. I think it's gonna be a ground match, I believe.
I disagree completely. I don't think it touches the ground once.
Really?
Yeah, unless it's like, and I just spoke about it on Tarps Off with the guys, and I don't think it touches the ground once. I think that it gets to a point where, and Adam Kaplan had a good point. He said if it goes up against the cage, it'll go up against the cage, and Usman's going to use his Muay Thai, his clinch, a lot of wrestling on the cage, things like that. If it goes to the ground, it'll go to the ground at the end of the round where Usman's going to be able to put him down off the cage. But I don't think that Burns will want to go to the ground. I don't think that it's smart for him to go to the ground for Usman. I know, even though Burns is good off his back, I just don't see Usman tapping. Usman's a fucking all-American wrestler.
What I think Burns is gonna do, I think he's gonna keep his distance from Usman as much as possible, and I believe he's gonna try to keep it as much as possible in the middle of the ring. Okay. And I think he's gonna try to box, and then the box, and then from the boxing set up a takedown on Usman. It'll be very
interesting to see if Burns is able to take down Usman.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and I just don't think that that's something that Burns would want. I think that Burns' advantage is the only advantage he has is standing, and it has to be him circling, standing outside, throwing jabs, creating the distance, like you said, creating the distance. I just don't think the advantage. Because if he goes on his back, no matter how good he is on his back, Usman's ground and pound is unbelievable. Like, it's second to none. And Usman will create damage that way. And taking down Burns, Usman's not being taken down by a jiu-jitsu guy. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and Usman, sometimes his style reminds me a little bit of GSP, where he just ground and pounds a lot.
Yeah, jab, box, set up the wrestling, take it down, ground and pound. Like, it's the same style pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. So who would you think would win GSP against Usman if it ever happens?
It will never happen. At the prime?
Wait, hold on. Prime GSP.
Prime GSP is GSP. Yeah, like I think it's prime GSP because the thing about GSP is that he has the best like MMA wrestling in the history of MMA. Wrestling in the history of MMA, like I think it's like it's a unanimous decision. It's either him or Khabib at that, you know, and. Nothing against Usman. I just think that GSP was so much more well-rounded with his kicks and the leg kicks and the calf kicks and the spinning wheel kicks and the Superman punch. And like GSP had so many things in his arsenal where Usman is like so good at like 3 or 4 different things. I think GSP would have won that fight. It would have been a boring fucking fight, but he would have won that fight.
I was arguing with a guy on Facebook about actually GSP.
Yeah, I never argue with people on Facebook.
I know that's the biggest mistake ever. But well, he was saying how GSP was ran away from the dude who just got his ribs fucked. What's his name?
Johnny Hendricks.
No. It's
he fought against GSP fight. GSP fought everybody.
No. It was actually when he was up and coming in the UFC. He fought Shabazian Nalongo. What was his name? Fuck. Let me get it really quick.
Who's Shabazian?
Edmund Shabazian.
He
fought against him right now. Fuck, it's a popular name. I just forgot it.
And GSP was running from this guy. If I can't remember it, and
No. Actually, not. No. Hold on. It's not that guy.
Derek Brunson.
It's no, not Derek Brunson. My bad. There's two guys I always fucking confuse, and it's Brunson and another guy. It's
Anderson
He
Silva?
was also he wasn't in welterweight division.
Is he still in the welterweight division?
He is. It's the guy with the fat fucking legs. Who's good?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Robbie Lawler?
No. Hold on a second.
Tyron Woodley?
Yeah, Tyron Woodley. Exactly.
Tyron Woodley lost to. He lost recently to Gilbert Burns. He didn't lose to
Exactly.
Guy.
Yeah,
He never
exactly.
ran away from Woodley.
Yeah, that's why. That's why he was arguing
why
that.
would GSP fight Woodley back then? Woodley wasn't even the top 10. Like, it's not even a fucking competition. Like, listen, maybe Woodley would have beat him. I don't know, but I don't think so. But he wasn't even in the conversation. He wasn't even in the top 8 at that point. Back when GSP was the champ, it was GSP, Hendricks, Diaz, Condit, Magny was in there, Maya was in there, Robbie Lawler. He fought all of them except for Robbie Lawler. So I don't know what the problem is. And Roy McDonald, like. That guy, whoever you're talking, that's why I don't talk to people on Facebook.
Yeah, that's why I was arguing. I was like, hey, fucking Tyron Woodley was up and coming. He was not even in the top 10 yet. And you were saying he was running away from him.
Yeah.
And apparently he also pulled up a clip saying GSP ran away from him because he didn't want to sign a contract or whatever the fuck it was. But anyways.
When you get to GSP's level, everybody wants to fight you. Everybody. So he's allowed to say no to people that don't deserve the shot. You know what I mean? So it's not GSP didn't say no to fighting. He said no to why would I fight this guy? You know what I mean? So if he said no to Tyron Woodley, it's because Tyron Woodley hadn't earned it yet. And even after GSP retired, the belt changed hands. It went from Robbie Lawler to Woodley. So it wasn't even as if Woodley got the title shot immediately. Robbie Lawler defended it 3 times before he lost to Woodley.
Yeah.
So let's go fuck yourself. He fought Rory twice and then he lost to Woodley. So and Woodley, I mean, we all seen Woodley's career. I like the guy. He's a fan. I'm a fan. But up after he won the belt, he was not the same fighter at all. And it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
And I'm not sure if our listeners are following us on Twitter, but we do have a special guest coming on in 2 weeks, approximately.
Yeah.
Ayman Zahabi, the younger brother of Firaz Zahabi, who trained.
He is Ayman Zahabi. He's the younger brother of nobody. Okay, that's what we're gonna talk about. So when he wins his fight in a couple weeks, we'll have him on and we'll talk about it. And hopefully it's positive news. I think it is. I mean, good luck to him. Ayman is,
he has a good opponent, so it should be a good match.
Who's he fighting? Actually, it's a good question. I don't even know.
It's Rodriguez. Who is it? Rodriguez something?
Draco Rodriguez.
Draco Rodriguez.
That's gonna be a good fight.
I'm definitely gonna be watching it, and we're gonna be talking about it on our show after the fights. But
absolutely. Okay, cool. All right, buddy. Again, this is Weekly Sauce episode 37. Ben Cahoon, thanks for coming on, buddy. Really appreciate it, man. And g2gbar.com is their site. Go check it out. Healthy bars, and hopefully we can partner up with them. It's also brought to you by Weekly Sauce. It's brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub. Visit Mike's BBQ Rub MTL.com and use Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off the entire site. I'm Terry Tam. That was Alex the Intern. Peace.
Peace.